Growing up is a very strenuous, difficult, and sometimes hard and scary process for children. One of the things that gives them some stability and continuity in that is their attachment to touchstones in their lives. And among those touchstones are characters. Clifford the Big Red Dog, Mickey Mouse. These are constants in their lives. These are things that they have figured out, they feel they understand, and that they feel comfortable with, and indeed, in their own way, love. When you take that and you leverage that into saying, you know, eat this food, you are basically leveraging that very powerful emotion that the child has, that very powerful attachment, to make money.
To celebrate Walt Disney Pictures and Walden Media's presentation of The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, you can get a pop-up storybook and an out-of-this-world action figure in every McDonald's Happy Meal.
But marketers have not limited themselves to dropping the names of beloved characters to sell their products. With increasing brazenness, they've also begun to drop the products themselves directly into kids' entertainment.
Oh, look at that!
Is it a mirage or just product placement?
Hey, who cares? With shopping convenience at such low prices. Water, Fresca, Mountain Dew, your product name here.
Product placement is weaving of products into programming without adequate disclosure.
Welcome to Wendy's. May I take your order, please?
Classic triple lettuce, tomato, and cheese.
Classic triple lettuce, tomato. I got it.
Classic.
Do it chicken nuggets. What kind of toys do you have?
And so it's dishonest advertising, it's deceptive advertising, it sneaks by children's critical faculties and implants its messages in kids' brains when they're paying less attention.
American Idol, which is a top-rated television program for 2 to 11-year-olds, is just rife with Coca-Cola product placement.
American Idol is brought to you by Coca-Cola.
The Gilmore Girls eat Pop-Tarts for breakfast.
Are you enjoying your breakfast?
I don't know if I like Pop-Tarts.
Did you fall on your head while you were sleeping?
I don't know. Do I like this? Is this something I like?
Children's films have product placement in them. I mean, what Spy Kids had McDonald's as a plot point. And also product placement is getting more and more prevalent in video games.
And when ads haven't been serving as a backdrop in video games, they have become the video game.
With children now as likely to be on the internet as in the playground, they're exposed to so much advertising they learn to ignore it. That's why advertisers love internet games. Not just ads, not just games, they're advergames. She can score with Skittles, race with Chips Ahoy, or hang out with SpongeBob.
It's part of this by any means necessary. I mean, we've got to get to the kid. We've got to make sure that that child is indoctrinated as a consumer cadet. So therefore, we've got to get to them in ways that maybe they don't even know that we're getting to them.
This new world of advertising in entertainment and entertainment as advertising no longer seems to recognize any boundaries, especially with the rise of new media technologies.
Children with cell phones have become a prime target for marketers selling products. It's because 1 in 4 American kids between the ages of 8 and 12 has a cell phone. That's 5 million children. And that number is expected to double in the next 3 years.
Cell phones make children much more vulnerable to advertising. It's advertising literally right in the face of a child.
And I can get all kinds of themes, ringtones, and lots of cool games, like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Disney and Nickelodeon now have downloadable content for cell phones.
Watch videos, catch cast interviews, interact with a favorite Wildcat.
Companies are using text messaging in order to reach kids. I mean, if your child has a cell phone and that cell phone has internet access, then your kid's being marketed to, in ways that you don't even know. So we have to stop thinking of marketing to children as just commercials. I mean, commercials are just so 20th century.
Introducing Nicktropolis, a huge new world just waiting to be explored by you.
With more than 40 million kids online daily and growing, perhaps no tool has become more important to marketers than the internet. And advertisers are making sure to hit kids where they gather, where tens of millions of elementary-age kids are coming together to chat, play games, and watch videos, all while being immersed in the brand.
Welcome to Webkinz.
At Webkinz, for example, millions of kids a day chat with each other, explore, and shop in a virtual world, a world open only to those who go to a designated store and buy a $15 stuffed animal imprinted with a secret code that allows kids to join and enter the Webkinz world, where they are encouraged to shop some more. One of the reasons marketers covet these sites is because of their proven ability to gather personal information from kids.
The internet allows people to be micro-targeted. If you have the person's birthday, you could say, "Happy birthday, Billy. Have you seen the new Power Ranger watch?" It's very personal.
If you set up 5 different accounts from 5 different geographic areas, on different genders, on different ages, with different preferences, you will see 5 different ads. You will see 5 different worlds. Now, as a child, you don't know that. As a child, you're competing with MBAs. You're competing with some of the smartest people out there.
In the face of these developments, many critics of youth marketing have called on schools to develop media literacy curricula to help kids navigate commercial culture. The results have sometimes been less than encouraging.
Now a word from our sponsor. That's how some schools are making extra money, literally selling themselves to advertisers.
Everything from the band shell.
That will be $125,000.
To the lecture hall.
$150,000.
Can be named for a price at New Berlin schools.
There's advertising on school walls, on school buses, and gymnasiums. There's donated scoreboards that have the Coca-Cola or the Pepsi logo on them.
There are so many ways that commercialism has intruded into our classrooms. There's Coke and Pepsi and Cadbury Schweppes in the schools, which are helping to generate an epidemic of childhood obesity among our kids across the country. There's school book covers. There are sponsored educational materials. There's a company called Field Trip Factory, which takes kids to places like Petco and to Sports Authority and calls that education.
These Chicago kindergartners are on a school field trip, but the animals they're going to see aren't in the zoo.
We want to welcome you to Petco.
Across the country, a growing number of schools are taking America's classrooms to America's malls.
There's a new company called Bus Radio, which is trying to compel 1 million kids to listen to 8 minutes of advertisements per hour as they ride the school bus.
Bus Radio. Busradio.com. We'll choose a name at random, and if you're the winner, we'll give a pair of tickets to your bus driver, too. You guys can hang out together, maybe share a large Coke. Email us as soon as you get home.
There's Channel 1, which compels about 7 million children to watch ads in schools each school day.
Today on Channel 1.
The purpose of schools, in part, is to promote reason. And the purpose of advertising is to subvert reason, to promote the sale of a product. And for that reason alone, advertising has no proper place in the schools.
How often does a company realize that they're going to get a captive audience where people literally have to watch their message? The effort to create junior consumers no longer stops at the school door. It is now following kids into school.
But if it's been following kids into schools, it's also been coming out of our schools in the form of advanced academic research, producing a new class of child marketing experts armed with some of the most formidable scientific tools.
Psychologists and anthropologists and sociologists and behavioral scientists are used by marketers to really shape and cement children's brand preferences. They want to be part of the fabric of children's lives.
12 years ago, there were no youth conferences where you looked at more effective ways to market to kids. Now, there are probably 15 a year, different conferences on tweens, teenagers, the Latino community, how to reach youth with your product, your program, your packages, your characters, your advertising campaign, how to reach them more effectively, how to get more of their dollars, which is marketing, and you can't blame people for that. But is it balanced with more conversations, more discussions of what's good for kids, how can we move our society forward in a healthier way? No.
Child psychologists and other psychologists are now absolutely integrated within the marketing field, and their techniques are so widespread that in fact it's probably pretty hard to come up with parts of the marketing effort that don't have anything to do with psychology.
You're a psychologist, you do research, you know the difference between a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and you know how to reach a 3-year-old, and you know that you have to play the ad much more slowly and use round figures instead of angles, because children like round figures at that age. And you know that 5-year-olds have a whole different set of concerns, so we can fine-tune the marketing to communicate better with children.
One means of fine-tuning is the tried and true method of the focus group.
It's quiet, it's controlled, there's usually a one-way mirror, so we can see behavioral cues. It's how they look, it's the look in their eyes, especially with kids who don't have that sense yet of self-monitoring. You know, all their actions are very descriptive, and once we take what they say and then feed that in with how they look when they say it and their behavioral cues, we really end up with a strong measurement of how product affects them.
Still another means is ethnographic research, which, tuned to the goals of marketers, has become a kind of scientific stalking.
They go into supermarkets with them and film exactly how they look at a product, pick it up, put it back down, the way they move around a supermarket. They film them on the playground, they film them in school, they film them eating breakfast, they film them going into their closet and deciding what to wear.
What are the things that you need that aren't in here?
I need a lot of...
They film them talking to their friends. They organize little friendship circles and film what they're doing. They even follow them into the bathroom. I interviewed a number of people who sat and watched children take baths and showers, watched how they interact with shampoo and soap and health and beauty products, as that category is called, in order to go back and write a report for their clients on, you know, what to do with the packaging. It's creepy. It's just absolutely creepy, the way children are being dissected and put